Good morning, friends. It's Tuesday, November 1st. I'm Marv Eisen of Timeless Dollar Trading Academy, and I was looking at the morning news, which I do every day, to get a sense of just the news. I don't use it to make up to develop an opinion of which way prices are going to go, because if you've watched my videos, you know I don't do that. But I was perusing the CNBC website for the news, and I see there was an article toward the bottom of the page. There really is a profit windfall for oil companies. That's interesting. But right next to it, and here's Taylor Swift. But right next to it, I love Taylor Swift, by the way. There was another article with a picture. Oil CEOs warn this winter's energy crisis will be nothing compared to the next. Wait a minute. Energy crisis, windfall profits. Wait a minute. There's a disconnect here. Because energy crisis means higher prices for energy and basically everything else, because energy drives inflation in just about every other market sector. So this is interesting because one of these two articles is BS, okay? One of these two articles is hiding news that is BS. Either the oil companies have a profit windfall or there is an energy crisis. So which one is it? So I did a little sleuthing, okay? And I come across this chart, and I'll show you the chart in a minute. But I'll just read some of the article here. BP announced that its profits between April and June had tripled since this time last year, hitting $9.3 billion. The company's highest quarterly profits in 14 years. 14 years. And they're not alone. So now let's go down to the chart. So here's BP, and this is the second quarter of 2021 versus the second quarter of this year, 2022. And here's BP. Their quarterly profits went from $3 billion to $9 billion. Not too bad, right? Good for you, BP. But you're a piker when compared to Shell and some of the other guys. Look, Shell, their quarterly profits went from $5.5 billion to $11.5 billion. Chevron, good job, boys, $3.1 billion to $11.6 billion. And Exxon, love them, $4.7 billion to $17.9 billion. So you know what this means, my friends? This means that all these guys are going to get their Christmas bonuses. Hooray for the oil companies. So now let's go back to the news. Energy crisis, high prices at the pump, right? Now, why are there high prices at the pump if the energy companies are raking in so much profit? Why don't they just lower their profit to what they made in 2021? What's wrong with making $3 billion, $5 billion, $4 billion? What's wrong with that, guys? You still made your Christmas bonuses last year. So this tells me where the truth is. I mean, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, my friends. And the truth is, based on these numbers, that the oil companies are screwing us, okay? But it's even worse than that, because they're not just screwing us at the pump. The oil companies are telling us that they have to raise their prices because yada, yada, yada. Whatever the reason is, they have to raise their prices because it's justified by their higher costs. But that's BS, because their higher costs, if they had higher costs, they wouldn't be reflecting these outlandish, and these are outlandish profits, my friend. These are outlandish profits. But these high energy costs are passed on to other businesses. Particularly, you go to the supermarket. We go to the supermarket, we buy our food. Food has to be grown. It has to be transported from where it's grown to where it's processed, then from where it's processed to where it's distributed to your market. So all these higher energy costs are at the root of causing inflation. Now I'm going to digress a little bit here and talk about the upcoming election. Now, I like people who tell me the truth. I don't like people who lie to me. I mean, this is my basic thing, right? I mean, we have an amendment to the Constitution. The First Amendment to the Constitution is for free speech. I think that's it, right? Free speech. Everyone's entitled to free speech, Okay? You can say anything you want to anybody. Now, that's all well and good, but if your free speech is going to make me do something that's against my well-being, then you lied to me in order to get something that you wanted from me, and that's not right. And the market is the same way. The market is always lying to us. And so I hate people that lie to us. I hate them when the market lies to me. But at least when the market lies to me, I know to expect it. I know that the market is going to try to lie to me almost all the time. It can't always hide its intentions, like today when it closed the gap nicely. And my students know about the gap trade and that it closes 75% of the time. And it was good for, let's see, prices opened at 39.16, about there, to 38.82. So what's that? About a 38-point profit in about a half an hour. Not too bad. A gap trade. And that's based on my trading zone and the gap. I knew where prices were going to trade because we're likely to trade. I shouldn't say we're going to trade. My trading zone is based on numbers, just like the numbers on this chart. These numbers are not lying to us. These numbers are telling us that the oil companies are ripping us off and the cause of inflation. So, and I was watching the news like probably you do on TV, and I hear one politician accusing the other politician of driving inflation. Now, politicians, for the most part, are not stupid, so they're making accusations in public in order to get our opinion to believe that they are telling us the truth. So if one political party is saying that the other political party is causing inflation, that's bullshit because the numbers don't lie. Then they know very well if they're going to accuse somebody of causing inflation, these are the guys that they should be accusing, the energy companies, not the other political party. But if it serves their purpose to lie about the other political party, they'll lie to us, right? I hate people who lie to us. I hate when the market lies to me. And that's the basis of how I trade. What is the truth? Well, the truth is, A, the market is always going to try to lie to me. And B, how do I confront that? How do I look at their lies and make money and trade when they're lying to me? Let's see. I use numbers just like the numbers that are calculated here. These numbers didn't come out of thin air. They were based on accounting. And the accounting said these oil companies are making, look at this. Look at this. The highest quarterly profits in 14 years. Okay, my friends? I don't like when people lie to me. I don't like it. I don't like when the market lies to me because the market is always going to try to make me take a trade that's against my better financial self-interest. And so I don't want you to do that either. And the way you can combat that is to ferret out the facts. Don't believe what you're being told on the news. This is why I tell my students, when I look in the news in the morning, the most important things that I want to see is right up here. I want to see the metrics, where the markets are in the future. Typically, I look early in the morning before the session opens. I look at the futures, and I look at the energy and the interest rates as well. Don't let anyone lie to you, and you'll become a better trader. This is Mar Rising for Timeless Dollar. Trade safely. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.